Simplify radicals with variables and exponents. So we're going to simplify the square root of x to the 15th power. There are a couple different ways to do this. Method one is going to be knowing your perfect squares, knowing your multiplication facts, and just jumping right into it. Method two is going to be breaking this down and expanding it out so you can see what's happening. So anytime you have a square root, there is an index. And for square roots, it's not written. It's a little 2. That's why we call it the square root. So what we're doing is we're dividing the exponent by the index. So perfect squares, if they can divide evenly by 2, they're going to have even exponents. So the rules of exponents. If you multiply terms that have exponents, what you do is you add the exponents. So when we're doing this problem, since we're going to write this as factors, this is going to be multiplication of something times something else, I need to make sure that these pieces are going to add to give me 15. I'm looking for even exponents. So the largest even exponent is going to be 14. 14 plus 1 is 15. And I'm using 14 because 14 can divide by 2. 14 divided by 2 is 7. So x to the 7th power would come outside of the radical. I cannot do 1/2. That doesn't divide evenly. So I would leave that as x inside. And that's how I would simplify the radical with variables and exponents. The second method is going to be to expand this out so you can see what's happening. So we already know perfect squares. We're looking for even exponents. So what we could do here is we can rewrite x to the 15th power, and we could focus on the squares. So 2x squared plus 2 is x to the 4th. Plus 2 is 6. Plus 2 is 8. Plus 2 is 10. Plus 2 is 12. Plus 2 is 14. Plus 1 is 15. So we can write all of this out because all of these x squareds are perfect squares. They're all going to divide. The exponent divided by the index, 2 divided by 2, this simplifies to an x, and another x, and another x. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 x's. And then this radical x at the end, we can't simplify. All of those x's, you have 7 of them. It's x to the 7th power. And that radical has to stay there. So it's another way of doing it. Once you write out all these squares, what you have is you have x squared to the 7th power. That's where the x to the 14th comes from in the previous method. And that's how you can get to x to the 7th. So pick a method that works for you and use that. Make sure you can get the problems right.